actually. I'm going to record this because most people get to where you are and they have the same problem. So for people watching this, Anton is acquaintance of mine from back in Brisbane, and he started trading a few years ago unsuccessfully, and he's finally become successful. In the last year, he posted his first profitable year, and he's pulling money out of the account, which is like a joyous thing. Like the first time I ever pulled money out of a trading account was like, fuck yeah. So I'm like, on that level, I'm so happy for you.
Thanks.
But on the next level, now that you've leveled up,
yeah,
it's time to take this shit seriously. And you said to me that you're making many mistakes, like one mistake in 5 sort of trades.
Sometimes more.
Okay.
Sometimes more. Yeah, I'll have a small losing streak, a small drawdown, and I'm happy to take losses because they're 1-hour losses.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I start on the winning streak, I bring that nervousness in from my previous losers. And when I'm up 1 hour, 1.5 hour, I just get really anxious about it. I don't want it to turn around on me.
Okay, so let's talk about the actual system that you're using. Is a modified version of my Holy Grail system. You're using 2 hour targets instead of 1 hour targets to beat the brokers up a little bit.
Yeah, it's
makes
a 1 to
sense.
2. Yep.
Makes perfect sense.
Shooting stars and hammers.
Now, your definitions of trending, are they the latest ones of mine, or are they the old ones from back
I'm not sure. I think they're the higher highs and higher lows for an uptrend.
Okay, so I can probably improve. Is there any confusion there about that? Does that give you any sort of angst at the margin? So is it ever like confusing, or is that fairly clear cut?
No, I think I'm pretty good at identifying, a trending market. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that so much. It's just, I tell you what throws me off. I'm used to really quick wins and really quick losses. So when I get into a win that goes halfway towards my target and then just kind of lingers.
Okay, so
5 bars, 6 bars, 8 bars.
So the most difficult place to be in a trade is a little bit in profit.
Yeah.
If you're in loss, if you're a little bit in loss, you kind of accept that it's probably going to go south. I have losing trades. I'm a trader. We have losing trades. If you're a lot in profit, good, happy days. But a little bit in profit is very, very difficult to deal with. It sounds to me like you're screen watching. Like when you get into
I'm on a 1 hour chart, so I'm checking every hour. And I'm also checking multiple, instruments. I'm checking all of the Forex majors. I'm checking the euro, the yen, the British pound, and the Aussie.
It sounds like you're checking more than once now. Because if you're trading hourly charts, what you need to be doing is like 5 minutes before the hour, or 10 minutes before the hour, you need to cycle through the markets and then switch them off. And if you're in a trade, it sounds to me like you're watching that trade that you're in.
I do. I'm not going to lie. I do some watching from time to time. I check up regularly.
So this is an easy fix. You have, at the start of a day, you have $1 worth of attention, and you can spend 50 cents of it watching the first trade, and then you've got nothing left. And what you probably noticed is, as soon as you use up all your attention for the day, you turn into a noodlehead. Like you just can't trade. Like you're just an idiot. So the trick is not wasting your attention. You've only got so much of it, right? Like you can probably, as soon as it gets emotional and intense, that just rapidly burns through all your available emotional fuel. Like it's just too hard. So what I do is I haven't traded hourly charts for a long time, but I don't check the trades once I'm in, except at that hourly thing. And I only check them briefly, and I'm very, very strict on that. Like that is, and when I'm trading 2-minute charts now, once I'm in a trade, I don't check it at all. I go take a piss, I have a snack, I listen to the target hit or stop hit noise coming out of my computer, or I'll go read a book or something like that. Like that just wears me down. So what are you doing to sabotage yourself? Are you cutting profit early? Are you moving your stop? Are you jumping? What are you doing?
I'm cutting my profits early. I get up about 1.2 R, and it's a 1 to 2. It's very, you know, wherever I place my stop, my profit target is twice that. Unless there's a level there, like a previous high that I know will probably be hit, or you know, if it needs to be a little bit lower, like a 1 to 1.8, I do that all the time. Yeah. So like in a massive downtrend where it's fallen off the plate, and then there's this huge bounce, and then there's a shooting star showing. I know it's going to retest that low, right? So
you don't target a little bit past, you want it on the low, right?
Yeah. So if that's 1.8 away, 1.8 R away, you know, I don't try to squeeze more out of the market than, you know.
So you're roughly going for 2, except if it's obvious you bend your plan a little bit, but within a very defined parameter sort of way. I mean, this is a perfectly intelligent system, a perfectly intelligent way to trade. So let's dig in a little bit, because there's something that's stopping you. There's something that makes you want to take a small win. So is it that you, when you're taking, say, a half an hour win or a 0.7 hour win, how does that feel? Does that feel like relief, or like you've done good, or?
Yeah. It's usually a 1.2 R winner that I take.
Okay, so let's say you've got a 1.2 R winner. Does that feel like a relief that you're out of this, there's another one on the books? Or does that...
I think it feels more of a relief that I'm not going to take a loss, or that it's not going to come back to my entry.
Okay, so it sounds like there's a deep fear that something's going to make 1.5 and then go back to be a 1 hour loss.
Yeah. Or a scratch trade. I don't even like scratch trades. And I think a part of this comes from, I spent my first 7 years doing a mean reversion system on 4 hours that was a 1-to-1 profit to loss, right? So I'm used to taking 1 hour wins, right? And now I'm doing trend following where the profit targets are much bigger. Like I really need such a smaller strike rate to do way better. But I'm still, once I get 1 hour ahead, I'm still comparing that to the old system that I traded for 7-8 months.
So fundamentally, mean reversion and trend following is so different. Mean reversion is high win rate, 1-to-1 or a little bit more than 1-to-1 profit targets, and trend following is shooting for the fences and lower win rates.
I think I'm bringing that mentality into the trend following. Is what I'm doing. Okay,
so at the heart of the edge in trend following is doing the emotion. You're discovering that even though trend following is a better edge, in many respects, it's emotionally much more difficult, right? In a real respect, the edge comes from doing the difficult thing, which is, swing, miss, swing again, miss, swing again. 5 losers in a row, and I'm still swinging. That is an incredibly difficult thing to do. So it sounds to me like you're not authentically prepared to lose. Like, it sounds to me like in mean reversion, your default expectation is a win, right?
Yeah.
In trend following, your default expectation is a loss, because most trend following systems are under 50-50 win rate.
Yeah. Well, I'm right around there with,
My trend following
system. Right around there with that trend following system. Huh?
My own trend following system is 25%. Sucks ass.
Wow.
Just sucks.
Well, I've incorporated some of the things from your Holy Grail system, like the hammer or the shooting star has to actually break the moving average. It has to actually retrace pretty hard for me to take that. So that filters out a lot of the the losers.
That should be more or less 50%, right?
Yeah, it's right around 50.
And varying between 40 and 60, like, depending on the phase.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Okay. when you're preparing to take a trade, how much anxiety is there before you get in, or is the anxiety once you get in a trade?
Not so much. I have two different trading systems for the trend following, and they actually give me very little time to get in. You know, the close of the bar, I know that when that signal is hit, if I don't get in the trade very quickly, it's going to move away from there.
Gotcha.
So I don't linger and, you know, debate. If the signal is there, I take it, and if it's not, I don't. So I don't really get, I don't get caught up at that stage.
So you're doing your job perfectly up to there.
Yeah.
In terms of once you get into a trade, how do you do your record keeping? Do you immediately duck over to your spreadsheet and fill out the records, or do you watch it?
I take a screenshot and I mark it up. I mark it up where my entry and my target and my stop loss is, and I save it. And I do a lot of this stuff while I'm at work, you know, so I'm still working. I just stop to take the trade, take a screenshot, mark it up, and then go back to work.
Okay, now as far as work goes, how is it that you've got work on the go and an open trade on the go, and both of those things are messing with your head? Is that?
Usually they don't mess with me when they're at work. It's when I come home, you know, and I've got an open trade and I've got the time to think about it.
Okay, so you're just worrying at it, and then the next thing you know, you're in a session and you're watching every tick, and then it's 10 o'clock at night, and you're not present with your wife, and you're like,
that's it.
I have to keep doing it. It's a trade. I'm working. The next thing you go to bed in tremendous emotional pain, and it hasn't hit your stop loss, and wakes up and hits the target the next morning while you're asleep, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. You're just watching your trades while you're in it. So it's a simple fix. You have to be disciplined enough that once you're in that trade, it's none of your fucking business anymore. Like it's a simple, you know, it's like, it's not just like a little bit more stressful once you're in a trade. It's like 10 times, you know, to your subconscious, everything is riding on this one trade. Like, this is the trade that proves that you can really do this. This is the one that's going to make it. And this is the one that's going to fuck us forever. Like, to your subconscious, this is a whole big drama, big deal. But really, it's just another one. To you, the adult Anton, it's just one in the next 1,000 trades. You've taken over 1,000 trades. You're good at this. You're not making mistakes. You're good at it.
Yeah.
All you're doing is just watching too hard. Like,
it's triggering the fight or flight response.
Exactly. So how do we fix this? We fix this, first of all, how many hours a day are you trading? Like, how long are you trading?
Oh, no, I don't stand in front. What I do is I set a little beep alarm for every hour. And if I'm not super busy, I check the charts, see if there's a trade. And if I am super busy, you know, sometimes I miss that rotation, you know?
Okay, so what I'm going to suggest that you do is that you get very strict about the times that you can do this. And what if you were doing it for if you're doing it the full day at work, pick half the day and do that, either the first half of the day or the last half of the day. Probably the last half of the day is more practical. And be very strict about, you're going to cut it down until you can do it perfectly. And perfect, you need to reframe away from making money and into mistake-free. Yeah.
I think I was better off when I was on the 4-hour charts, because I had an alarm for every rotation, and I would only miss the 2 o'clock in the morning one or something. But I would do the 6 in the morning one, you know, the 10, the 2, the 6 o'clock. And that's the only time I had to look at it. So
it sounds like your 1-hour system is fine. Like, the system rules are fine. You just need to, okay, let's talk about your mistake logging. You said you're making you use language like about this many mistakes. Like, are you tracking them exactly?
I am. On my spreadsheet, I have a mistakes column, and I write what the mistake was. And then in the column next to it, I write how much money I lost because of that mistake.
Okay, that's good.
But like I've missed a few. It's not like the spreadsheet is complete, but the mistakes column is
Okay.
not. I'm just starting to become disciplined about putting
Okay.
that down.
So what you said is something really insightful there, is that you don't want to face up to the consequences of your mistakes deep
Yeah.
down. And what you need to understand is each mistake is a blessing, because it's an opportunity to, all of your mistakes that you'll ever make are going to be another one of those. You know, much like in life, we run around and do the same stupid shit in 100 different ways, and it's all just the same turd rolled in a different color glitter, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
again and again.
And because I took a 1.2R win instead of a 2R win,
That's a
you
point
know,
eight. That's a point eight
well,
mistake.
it's a 0.8 mistake, but it's, you know, it's easier on the ego
Okay,
than to,
so now we're digging in. So we're digging into, you don't want to face the consequences of your mistake. You don't want to feel bad about making a mistake.
yeah,
Why not? Why don't you want to feel bad?
I don't know. It's,
Because it makes you feel like
loser.
exactly.
Yeah.
Loser. You don't want to feel like a loser.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that sounds to me a lot like little Anton and not like big Anton.
Yeah.
You know, big Anton knows that losing is part of the game. The primary job of big Anton is to lose, and lose well, lose with some grace.
Yeah. It's a very impulsive move that I make. It's coming from a place of impulsivity, not from a place of,
Right. Very interesting.
yeah.
So when I abandon myself, what it feels like is that I look back at the end of the day, and I look back at my spreadsheet and I go, I would never do that. I wouldn't take that fucking trade. The fuck? This is something I used to do 10 years ago. I haven't done. This is not me. And it legitimately feels like someone else has done it to you, right? Does it have that character to it?
No. No, you know, when I take losses in the mistakes column, I write good loss in all caps. And when I have a good win, I write good win. But you can always tell because 1R is the same. So when you see numbers in there that are not 1R or 2R, whether they're a win or a loss, it's obvious it's a mistake because I pulled out early.
Okay.
You know what I mean? All my wins should be roughly the same size. All my losses should be roughly the same size.
And
so,
you said this impulsive character to it. That impulsiveness tells me that it's not actually you, that it's like a part of you that's jumping in to save you from something.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So the mechanism behind that is that you're not really willing to feel the feelings behind that loss. And so what happens is your subconscious will just hijack you and just go, fuck it, I know how to not make you feel bad. Like, let's just jump out now. I'll do that for you. Bam.
Shut it down.
Shut it down. No more feelings. You know, and what other things in life have we done to avoid feelings? Why am I fat? It's because I eat to avoid my feelings. You know, why have I done 100 stupid things in my life that caused me no small amount of heartache because I was trying to avoid our feelings? And it sounds to me like you're using the markets as something that they shouldn't be used for. Like the FX market is an extremely poor way to act out inner world psychotherapy issues, like extremely poor. Couldn't be a worse place to do it.
I'm trying to get a handle on it now. I'm trying to really, discipline myself.
So it's not about discipline. Like you have tremendous discipline. You've taken 300 trades in the last year, put them all in your spreadsheet, taken screenshots of all of them. You showed a 40% profit for the year. That's fucking amazing discipline. Like, give yourself some credit. What you haven't got is an absolute willingness to feel the feelings that trading brings up. And trading is not going to get easier just because you've done it. Like trading just consistently for me brings up horrible feelings.
Me too.
Yeah.
But I act out on them. That's the difference between us.
Okay, so let's go back one level deeper and go, okay, why do you act out on feelings? So let's imagine I'm in a trade it's going to hit my stop loss, and it's been fucking around for 2 hours and done nothing, and I'm like, I've got this feeling in my chest, and I'm like, oh, this sucks. Or I'm in screen watching and I'm in mental obsession over it. I'm like, fucking come on, you prick. What I like to stop and say to myself is, like, I talk to myself as though I'm like a 5-year-old kid, and I welcome the emotion. So what I say is, oh, welcome crippling emotional pain. Stay as long as you want in my body. Please, don't feel any rush to leave. Let me just pay attention to you, and I'll get this feeling in my chest. I always get this feeling in my chest when I'm in an uncomfortable trade. And I'll just turn inward and just like really pay attention. Go, okay, stay as long as you want. Like, please, just inhabit my body. Like, this is fine. Stay all day.
Mm.
Stay all day. Welcome. Use what's mine is yours. Stay as long as you want. Use
my margin. All the margin you want.
All the margin. And what I find is that when I'm really willing to not try and push my emotions away or hoping that they're going to come and go, because all emotions come and go, right? But if I'm hoping that they're going to go away, they tend to stick around. The only thing that actually makes them go is just a willingness to feel them. As soon as you feel whatever's going on, then the next one happens soon enough, right? Like,
okay, yeah,
yeah, man, really interesting to speak to you, and you're doing a great job. Like, you also need to give yourself a little credit here. Like,
oh, I do. This is the next big challenge for me, I think.
This is the big challenge. So
yeah.
When you're faced with a big challenge and you're trying, your goal right now is to make money, but that's the wrong goal.
Yeah.
Your goal
I know
be,
that is, yeah.
Can I string together, how much perfect trading can I do? And I bet if I was to tell you to trade one rollover, like one 1 hour bar perfectly, you could do that every time, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
100%
once.
of the time.
Yeah.
Once.
Yeah.
Absolutely no doubt in the world you could do it once, right?
Yep. So maybe the goal should be 3 times.
Let's start with 3. So whenever I'm talking to students and they're talking about these giant big goals, 3, 4 rollovers. That's doable. Yep. Do it. Guarantee you got it perfectly. Give yourself an attaboy. It's important to give yourself an attaboy when you hit the goal. Maybe in 3 or 4 days' time, we'll up it to 4.
Okay.
And every day, at the start of every day, it's important to explicitly state your goal. If you think about any sport or any sort of, this is analogous to a mental sport like chess or something like that. If you want to get better, you explicitly state a goal. If I want to lift this much weight, if I want to get this good at fighting, my goal for today is blah. My goal for today is to do 3 rollovers, 60-minute bars, mistake-free. And at the end of the day, stop and say, my goal for today was to do 3 rollovers, and I fucking did it. Fuck yeah. Or my goal was to do 3 rollovers. I only managed 2. This was disappointing, and I'm determined to learn from it. Yeah. So a little refocus on the goal, you're going to be there in no time. So my experience is I have to go backwards to go forwards in any trading thing. I have to either lower size, lower time, lower number of markets traded, I go back, do it perfect, then size it up. Size it up, size it up.
Yep. So maybe I need to size down so that it stops being an anxiety-inducing exercise.
It doesn't touch the sides. Like how much should a trade hurt? It shouldn't be a mosquito bite, but it shouldn't be a bee sting either. And it definitely shouldn't be a punch in the face, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's got to be,
because everyone has a plan. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face, right?
Yeah. So maybe drop back your size, drop back the time, and then give yourself those attaboys for doing it perfectly, and then gradually increase it up.
All right, that's the plan then.
Keep in touch.
Thanks, Scott. I really appreciate that.
Take care. Good luck with the wife too.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
Be well.
Cheers.